welcome everybody. I am Valerie Lockhart. I'm the Executive Director of the Albert Lea-Freeborn County Chamber. And today we are going to be talking about how to optimize your Google business profile. In the age of AI, everything, it's changing how search results come up. Um, SEO traditionally is looking a little bit different these days. What we're going to be talking about is how optimizing your Google business profile can help you get better search results or help people find you easier. Um, and so we will we'll kick these off by just saying uh, you get to control what Google learns about your business. So not just your website, but your Google business profile can kind of act as a front page or a home page for a business. So a lot of times when small, local rural businesses don't have a website, this is the go-to that they have for web presence. And before people visit your website, they typically will look or Google you or your business to find out what your hours are, what reviews people have left about you, look at your photos, and then really just see like how credible your business is. And so the Google profile is getting control of that is about controlling what people see first about your business. So there are three different ways. We call them the three C's of optimization. The first is completeness, second is consistency, and the third is content. So completeness, you just want to make sure that all of the fields are filled out. So your hours are filled out. There's accurate information about your business, what you do and what kind of category. You want to make sure that everything is consistent from your website to the information that is on the profile. So the name of your company, the address, the phone number, and then make sure that there's not conflicting data. One thing that I've seen very commonly is that people will have, they will update things on their website, but then they forget to update their Google profile. And so those things are not consistent, and then that makes you look less credible to both the robots that are searching information and humans that are searching for information. And then for content, people kind of forget that you can post things to your Google profile. So there are places there where you can do updates, you can submit photos of your business, and then encouraging people to leave you reviews. A lot of times it's kind of last on our mind, but it can actually help people find you other ways. And so some of the common things that I have suggested that folks do is at the bottom of your receipt, like if you have a brick and mortar store and you're giving physical receipts, you can sometimes have like a code or something, a QR code or something for them to easily get to your Google profile and leave a review. Or even just at your register, if you have a QR code, they can scan with their phone to leave you a review right away. So catching people at the opportune moments and asking them to leave a review is super helpful. When they have left that review, it's really important that you engage with it. So respond to it via the Google profile. If it's negative, obviously you want to respond with how you're going to fix whatever their problem was. And just make sure that you acknowledge in some way what they have said or what they have told you. So people find businesses most commonly online by saying or typing into Google, where's this thing near me? And so your Google profile can really help because when you get control of your account, you can lay out where your service area is. And so if anybody Googles anything related to your business in that service area, you're more likely to show up. The other thing that this feeds into is Google Maps. And so if people are using Google Maps to navigate, if you have control of your Google profile, it will be linked in the map. And so a lot of times um, people might search for something on the map, and then your profile will pop up there as well. So there's a few different ways that these profiles feed out into the ecosystem. And they all help um, people searching understand that you are a trustworthy and a real company. So uh, they can drive calls to your phone or your store phone. They can drive clicks to your website. They can also drive directions because they are in maps and search. And so your Google profile becomes a trust signal for your business. And this is a shameless plug for us, but one way that this is helpful when you're trying to establish that trust factor is to have a link from another trustworthy website going to your website. And so for members of the chamber, as an example, having a link from a chamber website to your business plus a good Google business profile, it's like a credibility multiplier. And so those companies will get upranked in search because they have a trustworthy source linking to them. A lot of times, people can take out Google ads and they can do things like that, but even a paid ad doesn't give as much boost as that trustworthy factor. And especially in the days of AI, it becomes less about keywords on your site and on your social, and it becomes more about the trustworthiness or you being able to answer questions that your customers are asking. And so as the chamber, we've been coaching people on how to use blog posts and how to use social media posts to become like the experts in your field and to show that you are offering a value of being able to solve problems for your customers. That's a whole separate thing, but it all ties into this trustworthiness factor, which Google and other search engines will do better to promote. It's a trust signal that is helpful. So for those of you who may not have done this, you do have to claim your Google business profile. So if you go ahead and Google your own business, it should pop up. And if it has not yet been claimed, there will be a claim this business or manage this business on the profile. There'll be a little link to click on. So if you have not done that yet, you click on that and this is kind of a pain in the butt, but it's necessary. They have to verify that you are actually an owner or a person that is legitimately in charge of the business. And so there's a few different ways that they verify who you are. They can do it by phone, by email. They can mail a postcard to a physical location. Or I think now they will let you have a video that you upload to prove that you are indeed a human being and that you have a legitimate tie to the business. So once that verification is done, then you will get a code and it will send you the next steps to verify and make sure that you're validated. You will need to have a Google account, like a Gmail login, in order to manage the back end of your account. So if you haven't done that, if that is something that you might need help with, you can always reach out to the chamber and we can help you get set up with those things in order to manage it. But an unverified profile is kind of like an unlocked storefront. So anybody can change things. They can submit photos, they can, leave reviews even before you have control of it. So getting control of the profile is most important. Even if you don't do anything with it right away, just being able to manage it is super important. So again, if you have trouble with this or need help getting access to it, let us know and we can help. So this is an optimization checklist. Again, we've talked about a couple of these things, but just making sure that all your information is correct, that you are uploading videos or photos pretty regularly to keep content new on there. If you're encouraging people to leave reviews and then responding to them, that engagement is really helpful to help you rank higher on Google. Listing all your services with descriptions so people really know what you do and there isn't a question of, what your business is. Posting updates anytime you have a special offer, or if you're hosting a special event or you're having a sale, things like that are really good to post on your profile. There is a Q&A section, so kind of a frequently asked questions about your business or about your industry. So filling those out can be very helpful. And then just reviewing the performance insights. Once you get control of your account, they typically will send an email out every month that says, this is how many people searched and found your profile. And it'll show you kind of month over month what that difference is, if there's been an increase or decrease. It will also tell you how many people click through to call you or to get directions to your business from their search. So those insights come to you monthly. So just tracking those and kind of seeing how things are working can be really helpful. I think of the top 6 things that Google really cares are accurate. The business name needs to be your real name, and no keywords or anything like that, just whatever your business is actually called. Choosing the right category for your business profile is how Google understands your business and what it does. So picking the right one for that is really important. The business description, making sure that that is accurate, is super important for both the human beings that are looking at your profile and by the robots that scrape for search results. And then most people don't fill out the services and products piece of like what they're actually selling. And so it's often underused, but that can be very powerful, particularly in helping you rank higher on the search results. And then photos and videos are really good for proving legitimacy and showing people what your location looks like and what they can expect, particularly for neurodivergent folks. It's sometimes helpful for them to plan ahead before they visit somewhere. And so seeing accurate representation of what your company looks like or what the surrounding area looks like can be very helpful. And then those reviews and responses and that engagement on those is an ongoing trust signal. So those are kind of the most important pieces. Your Google profile teaches people and Google what problem that you're solving and who you solve it for. And so all of these things add to that legitimacy. When it comes to ranking and coming up in search, I know most of you have probably recognized that nowadays most things come in, the AI response comes first, and then you'll see paid ads underneath that, and then you'll have your organic ranking. This is changing a little bit with AI. Having your business be more active online is really driving some of that significant traffic and getting into the algorithm that the AI is looking for a little bit better. So a static profile will not rank as well because it sees it as just stagnant and maybe not very active. And so if you're posting regular updates, if you are making sure that your information is up to date, like if you change your business hours, make sure that they get updated on the Google profile. If you're having events or any seasonal content can be super helpful. So if things look a little bit different in your business in winter versus spring, having some of those pictures or having some of those descriptors or product information is very helpful for it to be more active. It also helps to build the trust and credibility. So, like having pictures of the exterior of your place so people know if they're visiting, if they're in the right place, or even inside what it looks like. Pictures of your team and people that work there can be super helpful. And then if there's pictures of like products or some of your services being provided, that can be helpful for getting people to understand what happens at your business. And then when you're posting regular content like posts, it just increases user engagement. So you're more likely to show up in the search and be more high profile when you're posting things and making things more updated, more on a regular basis. So when it comes to reviews, again, asking people for reviews is super important. The Google reviews feed into a lot of other searches. And so positive reviews and ratings can help with visibility. It can help with click through. It can really solidify and help people make better decisions when it comes to whether or not they're going to shop or come to you for service. So those reviews and ratings help improve the search ranking. And then from there, there's increased trust and customer action. They're more likely to take the next step by getting directions, calling you, or visiting. And this is kind of a feedback loop that it gets in. So the more reviews and the better the reviews and engagement that you get, the better the search results, the more trust that there is. So if you think of this as an engine, it just kind of keeps that momentum running. And so as a very simple script, one thing that I have suggested to people is at the bottom of their receipt, or if there's a customer survey that you send out or some kind of feedback mechanism that you have to get feedback, just add a little bit at the bottom that says something like, if you had a good experience today, please leave us a quick Google review. It really helps businesses like ours. And then a link to your profile. Google makes it very easy to get a link that goes directly to be able to leave a review. You can create a QR code for that if want people to be able to scan it with their phone. However, you can make it easy for people to engage with that review site is good. And there is in AI, there is a thing called sentiment analysis, which is basically the AI will look at your reviews and it will read and review, it will read the reviews and do a sentiment analysis on what people are saying. And so, good or bad, they're going to see patterns in that kind of exchange. And so if the AI can see patterns of you responding to things quickly and engaging with customers, those things are positive and will help with this trust engine ranking. So the way that kind of works, this is very complex and we don't need to get into all of these, but it does, it looks for consistency, it looks for clarity, and it looks for proof that you are what you say you are, or you're doing what you say you're doing. And so it will do this analysis on your Google profile. It will look at the reviews. It will look at the images that are attached to it, because people can also add images of your business. That's a little tricksy because we can't control what other people post about us, either reviews or pictures, but we can respond to them in an appropriate way. And sometimes AI can help with writing that response, particularly if it's a like angry review. It can sometimes help us mitigate some of those. But the AI for search is looking at all of these things and it's doing these sentiment analysis and it's giving, it puts it in the kind of a ranked order and helps your business fit into the search results. And so it looks at all of those elements to kind of understand your business as a whole and then rank it appropriately in what people are searching for. So the AI isn't really guessing what your business is, it's summarizing whatever you give it. And so if you're not controlling your profile or you're not providing it with the information, it's not going to have as accurate information to go off of. And so it may miscategorize you or not suggest you as an option when you should be. So that's where it comes in, just the importance of taking control over it and making sure that you are putting the right information out there to begin with. So when people are searching for anything, whether it's a product or a business, there's kind of four different intents that they have. So the informational intent is when they're looking for knowledge or they're trying to find answers or guidance on some specific thing. Navigational intent is when they're trying to find a specific place or a website, even trying to find a physical location. If they are doing a commercial investigation, that's another kind of intent. So they're like comparing products or services before they make a decision and buying something. And then the last kind of intent is transactional. So they're ready, they've done their research, they're ready to purchase, and they're ready to sign up or download or do the next step to taking that next purchase. So these are kind of the four intents that people are searching for online. And so in the transactional realm, that's when people are looking, or even in the investigation, when they're looking for something near me. So if you're providing, say you're a meat shop, a meat market, and I'm in the area, I would Google where's the closest meat market to me. If you've updated your profile and you've made sure that it has the information that it needs, you are going to pop up in that thing. On the commercial investigation, some of the words that people will search will be like, what's the best massage service provider in Albert Lea? And so that best word will help the robots know that they're trying to do a comparison. And so they'll look at reviews and they'll look at what people are saying or what's been posted, and then they will rank it based on that. And then if they're doing just an informational search, having that FAQ section can be really helpful, because if they're, saying like, I need to learn more about XYZ, if you have posted in your FAQ about XYZ, that will help you show up as a result. And so, just start thinking about maybe like what intent people are having when they're searching online for things related to your business, and how you can optimize your profile to fit that. So if it's educational stuff that you're doing, you could have those FAQs and be teaching people a little bit and having you show up in the educational components of it. If you're selling a product, having, the near me, if a physical location, if you're coming into your store is important. If geographical is important to your sales, then thinking about those transactions and like making sure that you have product information on your site. And then if it's more about the best service, or who offers this in the best way, then you want to worry more about the reviews and those kind of like how people are talking about you online. So just to think about, how people will engage and then optimize for those different pieces. So a challenge that I would give you is just to think about the next 30 days. And once you've gotten control of your profile, if you have access to it, how to make an action plan to keep your content active. So this can look like, choosing 3 different ways to boost that visibility and engagement. So posting once a week, maybe you're sharing an update, an offer, or giving some kind of behind the scenes content to keep people engaged. A lot of companies that I work with will, they have a regular plan for social media, but then maybe once a week they take one post that they do on social and they push that to their Google profile. So you're not duplicating efforts, you're not creating new stuff, but you're just repurposing some of the things that you're already doing to be a good add to the Google profile. And then, of course, asking people for new reviews, figuring out how to get people writing those reviews and then checking in on those and responding to them. And then making sure your offerings are current. So products or services, if you have something new that you're offering, making sure that that's updated. So for 30 days, if you do that, you'll start to see a difference in traffic or results coming through that profile. And small, consistent updates will always beat just forgetting about it or not engaging with it at all. So even if you just choose one of these things to try that out for a month and see how it works and see if it starts to drive more traffic for you. So some of the common mistakes that I see that people make with their profiles, if they, like, let's say the name of your company isn't very clear of what you do. Sometimes people will try to stuff a keyword into their name, which it seems like that would work because then people would know what your business was about. But because it's not the actual name of your company, Google will penalize you for that. And so you don't want to do the keyword stuffing in your business name. Choosing the wrong categories. So if you're miscategorizing your own business, trying to get different traffic, that can also become a liability where they will knock you down in the ranking for having wrong information. Again, not updating hours. A lot of people will just have like 24-hour a day availability, and that's not real. And so if somebody could call you at 2 a.m, maybe you leave it at 24 hours, but 9 times out of 10, we are going to have actual business hours that we want to make sure are updated on there and not just wide open. Ignoring the reviews. So if somebody goes and they search your profile and they see that there's been 10 really bad reviews that have never been responded to, and they're just kind of sitting out there, that looks worse than 10 bad reviews that have been responded to and said, we're really sorry that you had that experience. Here's how we would fix it, or some kind of engagement on them. So don't just ignore the reviews, even the good ones. You want to make sure that you're engaging and saying, hey, thanks for the review. We really appreciate your business. That will look better to somebody who comes upon your profile than no response at all. And then just never posting anything, no pictures are there, no information. It just kind of looks like you're not active, or maybe you're not very engaged as a business. And so these are some of the more common ways that you can easily be more active and more, show more activity and trust on your profile. So that was a lot of me yammering. But the key takeaways before we get into questions, I just want to make sure we kind of re-anchor. In the age of AI, your Google business profile is not optional anymore because it really is feeding the information that gets into those search results. It gets into that AI search. It gets into maps. It gets into all of these different aspects because it's connected to all of those. And it really is the front door of your business. So it's the first thing people are going to see. It helps them understand before they even click on your website. This is usually the avenue that people come into a new business. And then optimizing your profile helps everything else work better. So it will help traffic on your website. It will help traffic coming into your physical location. It will help all of those aspects. So you really want to make sure that it is good, and that it's helping work for you. So with that, I would love to open it up to questions if there are any, or anything specific that you want to talk about